All right, welcome everyone to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I'm grateful to have you here, and I'm very much excited to dive into the December energy update for today. Now, first of all, I do want to thank you all so much for all of your wonderful questions. I put out the Q&A podcast post, and the amount of questions, and very well thought out questions. I gotta say, way to go everyone. Those are some great questions. So I really do look forward to diving into them. There are so many of them that I will not be able to cover it all in one podcast. So I will do some of them as quick videos online as well as other podcasts and stuff, but I will get through the questions. I love them. And it helps me know what all of you want to know. So again, thank you so much. I love it. I love that. Now, let's focus though on the December energy. This is a good one, a big one. Some of it will probably feel like you already know, so maybe this will be confirming things for you. But I think there's also some new pieces in here that I'm very excited to share from Spirit. So let's dive into this. So, first of all, we know, for many of you that did join me on Cosmic Consciousness in November, you know that we went through a really interesting timeline jump. We did that on November 6th, 7th, and for those of you that recall, there was big energies at play, and we saw that through the auroras, the northern lights specifically, were so big and bold. There was lots of videos out there about how bright they were, and not only just in kind of the greens and sort of the yellows, but it went into fuchsias, pinks, and even some oranges. Now that is massive energy on our planet. And from my NDE, Spirit, one of the things they told me was what was to be Avalon is now Aurora. And what that meant when they had told me that, when I was just about to have my near-death experience, was that I was going to be planning to cross over to Avalon, which is another word for the other side, but an aurora was about to take place, which to me, the understanding was that an aurora represented something changing on the planet. And that something at the time during my NDE was me. My life path was changing on this planet. So what this means collectively, because we saw such a beautiful, massive aurora on that day, followed by massive energy change, Spirit had explained that we did a big timeline jump, basically moving from one Earth frequency to another parallel but higher frequency. So essentially a new Earth frequency. Now people often talk about the new Earth frequency. This is different. This is a step in the right direction. And so what this means is that there can be a lot of energetic overwhelm right now. Many of you could be feeling very overwhelmed by the energetic shifts, while others of you might be feeling like it is perfectly aligned. So I really encourage you to listen to this podcast today from your perspective and take what resonates and release what doesn't, because this is trying to cover a lot of things that are happening. So you'll notice which ones are aligned with you because you'll feel it. So with all of this energetic shift in consciousness, there is a bit of a lag though. And what I mean by that is I talked about it last week in the Wednesday Wisdom, that there's an energy that we're moving from that is represented in the energy of 1985. That is the old frequency Earth energy. And we've stepped into a new frequency Earth energy that is that of 2025. And the energy of 1985, again, generally, is this disparaging energy of pointing fingers, judgment, very much a victim mentality, whereas the energy of 2025 is that of much more compassion, higher thought, expansive thinking, and it's really about like collective bonding and moving forward. How can we work together for the collective of humanity? That's the general difference between the two. And so what's happened is we've taken a leap into this new frequency, many of us, especially those of you that are listening to podcasts like mine of consciousness, you've taken that leap. And so what needs to happen right now in the energies of December is those that have taken the leap are essentially trying to anchor the frequency here. while others catch up. And there is absolutely no judgment whether you have arrived already or you are catching up. There's no judgment in that. It's just simply when you arrive. Some of you might feel like you're mostly in the new energy with a little bit on the old energy. That's very normal as well. And so this energy now for December is really about, for some people, it's about rest and retreat. If you've already gone through a lot of your stuff and you're feeling pretty clear in your mind, it's about you recalibrating now. You resting, enjoying the energy in 3D of December, choosing what you want to make of it. For others, there is a call to clarity and action. So for some of you, December is going to be about being very clear in your actions and implementing them. And that may lead into some of you really having the opportunity to open up your throat chakra. So there's a big emphasis for a lot of people of throat chakra in December to bring clarity in your actions. And that may be speaking what you want, speaking boundaries, simply speaking up and sharing your opinion, having your voice heard, whether it be with others or even for yourself. So notice where your throat chakra is calling you to utilize it. Where is it calling to be utilized? And also, is this in helping you rest and recalibrate or retreat, or is this helping you in your clarity of action? Now, the next thing Spirit wanted to say about December is that with this timeline jump and with having to hold the energy anchored here for the kind of the back end to catch up, almost like an inchworm, right? The front of the inchworm is there. We just need the back of the inchworm to catch up. Is this frequency that we're in as a collective has never been done before in this way. And that is very much in the way that humanity as a collective has awakened their consciousness, not just been told what to do, but have come to unveil and reveal from within the direction they want to go. So this is a new frequency that was seeded, they said, in 2020 and has been growing and incubating since then to really begin to blossom and take hold in 2024. This is what's so exciting about it. So we're about to bring this out of that incubation phase into its own independent growth stage. So Spirit is super excited about this and really wants to help us move forward in confidence. So some of the things I wanted to talk about within that is, for those of you that are in a position of inspired action, of taking that action, that clarity in action, is focus on the inspiration for the action, and then the steps will flow effortlessly. Wait for that inspiration, that heart piece of you wanting to speak, to share, to express. When you wait for your heart to get aligned with it as well, you will be in that alignment of flow, and what it is you're trying to create will have more ease in coming together. So feel free to take the time to pause and ponder what that is, but when you then speak or act from the heart, you're acting in that universal conscious energy of higher consciousness, like Christed consciousness type energy. And so there's something really valuable in that. So notice if your action is inspired or forced based on something you should do or feel you need to do, rather something your heart is speaking for you to do. And remember that the heart can align with the mind. So it's not about ignoring the mind. Bring the mind in, absolutely. Bring in your intellectual thoughts, lay it all out on the table, then let your heart sift through it. And when you bring the two, the heart and the mind, to the table, then you really get to act in flow and alignment. Another thing Spirit is saying is something that's really beneficial is aligning with your wholeness right now. So with this timeline jump, this shift in frequency that we had, a lot of people found themselves suddenly either sick, I know I did, either sick, very challenged in terms of like anxiety or discomfort feelings, even relationships shifting very suddenly, very rapidly. Like it's jarring to shift a frequency timeline like that, even when it's for the higher good. So sometimes our bodies really feel it. Sometimes our 3D life will show it. But what Spirit is saying is to align with your wholeness right now, meaning your heart self, recognizing that you are not your illness, your symptoms, your habit, or your environment. You, the person, are always whole and always perfect, especially when you're in the energy of consciousness. So what that means is recognizing what does the situation, the illness, the symptom mean for you? What does that mean for you? And an example of that is, I know for me, with my food poisoning, considering it was so incredibly random and so incredibly intense, there was a knowing during it, though, that I was releasing some significant energy and shifting it in my physical body, that my mind understood it, my spirit understood it, but my body was shifting it. And so that can be done through illnesses sometimes. In my case, it was. But notice which habits are changing for you too, because some of you may find you haven't had a habit of something before and it has suddenly just fallen away. Or there is a new one that's come up and you're like, where's that coming from? And maybe it's a good one, maybe it's not a good one. But pay attention to those pieces to see how they align or don't align with your wholeness, because what you want to do is align with that wholeness in the decisions you're making, in this change of timeline and frequency, so that you can be an anchor point for the collective moving forward. Because we need, again, like Spirit said, we need people to anchor this energy so that come January, come 2024, we are really grounded and ready to move forward. There's a beautiful thing about that. So in that anchoring of energy, really consider if there are other energies throwing you off, meaning other people, other situations. With this new timeline jump, what things don't really align with you anymore? Spirit right now in my mind is showing me the Eight of Cups card, which is usually somebody walking away. They've put the cups down and they're walking in the opposite direction towards the rising sun. So where do you need to protect your energy, be clear with your energy? What does that look like? Because you may be inviting in energy that is throwing you off balance. And so that could be maybe energy in some of the news you watch, or energy in some of the people you're hanging out with, or personal beliefs, whatever it may be. Check the energy. Is that energy aligning with your wholeness? Is it aligning with your heart space? Is it helping you move forward in inspired action or not? Because the energy right now is very, very dense. Again, coming back to this 1985 versus 2025 energy, those are very, very different. So which one are you aligning with? You do not have to do it perfectly by any means. But again, conscious choice is what is at play there. So what are you choosing? That part is up to you. Yeah, and Spirit's saying right now, they're like, that's why for some of you, it's going to just be so valuable for you to spend the energy of December in lighthearted 3D play. If you've already organized a lot, then just play, be lighthearted, be more simple. If there's something that requires your attention, then go in that direction and act on it. But come back to that lighthearted play, because that will hold that energy higher and make it easier for you to anchor in these new frequencies. Now, the other thing that Spirit wanted to say is, in connection to what I was saying before, that we are in this new frequency of human, is what they called it, a new frequency of what it means to be human, which means new capacities coming in through humanity, especially in 2024. This means there is so much hope for the future of humanity. And I am very happy to hear that, because we can definitely look around our world right now and feel very overwhelmed by a lot of things. But what Spirit is saying is, with the beautiful amount of work that we've done in the last 4 years, we have created a really nice space, a lot of hope and positivity and forward movement for where we want to go into this new uncharted territory of humanity. We are stepping into levels that we have not reached before. There have been times where humanity was much more technologically advanced. If we go with the idea, and again, I present it that way because you absolutely can believe what you want, but there is a theory and idea that humanity has been created and destroyed a couple times over. Some people say 5, some people say 6. And in this incarnation, yet again, of humanity awakening, There was a big desire to avoid a massive solar flare that wipes out humanity, a massive flood that wipes out humanity, nuclear issues that wipe out humanity. We're in an entirely new frequency of humanity's evolution. And this is a beautiful thing because it has not been done before in this way. In the past, when humanity was highly technological in their advancements and knowledge, they didn't bring the spiritual consciousness with it. And that advanced technological state didn't bode well. It was not balanced. There needs to be a balance, a harmony, a yin, a yang. And so what's happening now, and the direction Spirit's saying humanity is going as a whole, is in a state of balance. Even though we can't quite see it, and I really get it from the human perspective, sometimes I look and I'm like, are we sure this is going in this direction? However, Spirit says we really are. We are taking those steps. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're big, but we are moving into this new uncharted territory of humanity's consciousness rising to, like they've said, this galactic level of consciousness, where when we really anchor into that as a whole, we then will become a part of the galactic level of civilization. And life will change very much in that sense. And so we're on our way there, and they're very grateful for where it's going. So all of that to say, your conscious choice in what you do in your daily life and the frequencies you emit because of that play a huge role right now in how things move forward. So when you feel like, I don't know if anything I'm doing, makes a difference, or little old me, I'm not really doing much. How can I make a difference? Why does it matter? It does. The frequency of your embodiment on this planet has a way bigger effect and impact than you realize. And it has been. And all of the healing work you've done has been making a difference. So that's why for many of you, December is about kind of coasting through and sort of just rolling along with it, being lighthearted, falling into play where you can, into what feeds your soul and your body and your presence here on this planet, diving into holiday experiences, however you celebrate, with family, with friends, maybe diving in more to your heart space of what do you need from you to feel nurtured, what does that look like, and really know that the universe and the spirit world supports you in this, because we are moving and changing frequentially in ways we never have before. And I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. So on that note, I will leave it at that. And I really hope all of you feel this lighthearted energy, this confidence and support from the spirit world as you move into December. And may December bring you some really beautiful grounding energy, maybe some beautiful new memories, new relationships, new connections as we finish out the year and step into 2024. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you feel inspired and positive moving forward. And I so look forward to seeing you all next week. So have a beautiful rest of your day.